Hello, I'm Jane Gogodas, and as always, I'm so excited to welcome you to Beyond the Headlines. Coming up, we go hiking to Sapitwa.
Reaching the summit entails crawling, negotiating steep slabs,
it was an anomaly that I needed to correct, that I was selling something that I had never experienced. Now, from now on, I think I've been born again. I'm going to be selling something that I know.
We also go to Chilengo, dip in the Cholo escarpment to hear people's stories with regard to accessing healthcare.
The distance to the hospital is the major concern here. For those young enough, we carry them on our back to the hospital. But for grown-up children, we hire a motorcycle to take us there, costing us almost 8,000 kwacha.
Glad you could join us. Once again, welcome to the program. Now, Mulanje Mountain, otherwise known as the island in the sky, is a destination of its own kind, offering breathtaking scenes unique to itself. This picturesque mountain has become the destination for many lovers of hiking, most of whom are keen to reach to the Sapitwa Peak. Our very own reporter, Simeon Boyce, who is becoming a regular hiker locally, joined a group of 60 young and old hikers recently on a mission to discover what the island in the sky offers.
My name is Vera Gantukule. We are at the foot of the Mulanje Mountain, ready to conquer it. And we just want to say, thank you, people, for your support.
This is the start of our hike to Sapitwa Peak, the highest point on Mulanje Mountain, the second tallest mountain in Africa after Kilimanjaro. This hike will take us 3 days. We are a group comprising of various professionals, including Minister of Tourism, Vera Kamtukule, who alongside my cameraman, Douglas Banda, and several others, is making her first attempt to Sapitwa. We are all excited and looking forward to the challenge ahead. This is not only about hiking to Sapitwa Peak and enjoying the sceneries, but also marketing the gigantic mountain to the world as a feature worth visiting. This hike is special. Special in the sense that we have Minister of Tourism, Vera Kamtukule, and Malawi's Tourism Ambassador, Melvis Maigwa, who is popularly known as Travel with Melvis on the social media. As we climb up the mountain, she shares with me her experiences and thoughts on how Malawi can be a tourist magnet with God-given treasures like this mountain we are about to appreciate.
On the mountain itself, do we have enough facilities? Do we have things that can attract other people to come? Because my experience is that you need a lot of energy. But when you travel abroad, you see that they have other means of making sure that those who are old, those who are not energetic, they still get the hiking services.
So like there in the US, some places, some mountains like Yosemite, most of the mountains, they have road networks as well, just like I mentioned, to improve our road networks, just like Kuchawe has. Not everybody can hike up to Kuchawe, but they can drive there and have the beautiful experience and see the beautiful views that Zomba have to offer. If we could have something like that as well as cable cars to get people who are not so mobile or flexible to get up the mountain using their legs, then they could have that. And by doing so, the country could generate so much revenue.
So far, so good. We have covered a quarter of the journey to Sapitwa Peak, and we are now at a place called Panga, which literally means cave. Having traveled this far, we decide to take a breather and have our breakfast. As I said, we've just done a quarter of the journey, but some of the first-timers, including Tourism Minister Vera Kamtukule, seem exhausted. Already, but determined to go on.
Are you feeling it?
No words.
I'm feeling irie.
It's a quarter of a trip. Are you
Yeah,
going
it
to
is.
make it? You challenged
Of
when you were
course,
starting.
we're going to make it.
Uh-huh.
So far so good.
Okay.
We've done the one now.
After the breakfast, we are back on our journey up the mountain. As we struggle our way up, we bump into local people who are either going up or going down the mountain. We are fascinated by some women who are carrying firewood harvested from the mountain forest.
Kumulanje kulanzima mphamvu kwa basi. Masika ndi nkhuni. Kafika nazo uko.
The ease with which they are navigating the steep slopes tells a story. They come here quite often. Along the path, we see patches of land that have been degraded, areas that have turned bare due to undesirable actions by people who cut down trees wantonly, engage in charcoal burning, and till along the mountain slopes. The mountain was home to Malawi's national tree, the Mulanje cedar, but now you can count the few trees remaining. However, this devastation is masked by the beauty contained therein. The mountain has abundance of fresh water streams, so fresh you can drink the water to quench your thirst.
We are almost on the middle of our hike to Chisepo Hut, where we'll have a sleepover. As you can see in the picture, the hikers are taking on one of the challenging heights, nicknamed as Kaufiti, meaning witchcraft, because it is so challenging. It is very steep, so one needs to have the stamina or needs to have the resilience to manage it. But slowly and surely, it is possible. You can see there the hikers are trying their best to make sure that they take it on. So let's be together as we take this hike up to Chisepo Hut.
After 8 hours of climbing up steep slopes, one by one we reach Chisepo Hut, another resting point. We spend a night here and prepare for the next day. On the second day, we all wake up before dawn and start preparing for the final hurdle, which is reaching Sapitwa Peak. Breakfast is served early, and as others are having breakfast, others are warming up ready for the challenge.
We slept at the Chisepo Hut. Now we are at the foot of the Sapitwa peak. We are about to embark on it, and I think we are still optimistic that we are going to do it. You didn't believe that I was going to make it, but I did, and so did everybody else. So we are geared. Amen.
Amen.
Nice one.
Malawi, come visit Malawi. Malawi, come visit Malawi. Malawi, you fall in love with Malawi. Hospitable, friendly people, peaceful country. Come, visit Malawi. Come, visit Malawi. never visited Malawi. You've never visited Africa. You've never visited Malawi. You have never visited Africa. Come visit Malawi, young heart of Africa.
Yeah. We have continued with our journey of going to Sapitwa Peak, the highest point on Mulanje Mountain, 3,000 meters above sea level. It's not a joke. In the next 1 hour, we will be there. As you can see, it's all rocks. All we can see are rocks and a few plants, but mostly are rocks. And on top here, the weather is a bit cold. I can feel the cold breeze all over me. And I'm hoping that I still have the fuel to reach the final destination. Reaching the summit entails crawling, negotiating steep slabs, narrow gullies, and border fields. This is where tour guides become handy. Minister of Tourism Vera Kamtukule nearly gives up with just meters to the very top, but cheered on by the group, she eventually makes it. At last, Sapitwa Peak is conquered. Sapitwa Peak is a place of indescribable beauty with unique flora and fauna never seen elsewhere, but only at this mountain peak. Kamtukule says she can now ably sell Mount Mulanje to the world.
3,002 meters above sea level. I think the thrill, I cannot explain how I'm feeling. I think to conquer Mulanje Mountain is to conquer everything. So, you know, we have a tagline at the Ministry of Tourism. We say everything, everyone, tourism. And so this is everything. It's part of everything. And we brought everyone here to participate. There were a lot of moments when I thought I wouldn't make it. But we did. We made it. That's what happens in life. Doesn't mean the goal never changes. The goal was to get here. So it didn't matter. I've twisted both my ankles, but we still persevered. And I had the support of everyone who wanted to make sure that I also got here. And that's what we need to do in life. Bring the other, leaving no one behind. This is exactly what it means. Pulling each other up so that each one of us gets to the goal. I don't get to the goal if I've left other people behind me. And so you have not achieved anything if you have left other people behind you. That's a lesson of life. That's one of the greatest lessons I've learned here as well. But I think for me, it's about, I sell this massive. I sell it. But I think it was an anomaly that I needed to correct, that I was selling something that I had never experienced. Now, from now on, I think I've been born again. I'm going to be selling something that I know. Mulanje Mountain is very unique. It's just not one mountain. It's several of them. But also, the beauty. It's unbelievable. I have never seen anything like that, maybe apart from, maybe in movies. But even in movies, I don't think they can even surpass the beauty that I've seen today. The rocks, the sceneries. It's amazing, absolutely amazing. I don't think I have the words to explain or express the beauty that I've seen here, the natural beauty. And for me, I think that just goes to show how blessed we are as a nation, that God in His infinite mercies gave us this nature, this beauty, willingly and freely to us. Now it is incumbent upon us in terms of how we use that, leveraging upon it for our socio-economic development. And we are geared from the Ministry of Tourism.
Vera Kamtukule becomes the first female cabinet minister to ever reach Sapitwa Peak. Leader of Team Adventure, Kondwani Chamala, is commending the minister for entering the history books as the first female minister to reach Sapitwa Peak.
This is a place where not many people are able to come. And for one to come at Sapitwa, it needs a lot of motivation. It needs the willpower. And having the Home Minister of Tourism coming up to the 3,002 meters above sea level, I think it's not a small issue. We are excited as Team Adventure. We were even honored to find that the minister had to accept to be hosted by Team Adventure in Mulanje. When we be talking about tourism, we need to be talking about iconic places, and Mount Mulanje is one of them. And if we cannot even in the world, Mount Mulanje is somewhere on the list of people to visit.
The hike also marked the climax of the commemoration of Tourism Month of September, being embraced under the theme Tourism, Justice and Peace. After a twist and turns, starting from yesterday, hiking for over 12 hours, today we continued with our visit, we continued with our hike, and we have managed to reach the summit of Mulanje Mountain. That's Sapitwa, the highest peak on the mountain, 3,002 meters above sea level.
Malawi, come visit Malawi. Malawi, come visit Malawi. Malawi, you fall in love with Malawi.
And an increasing number of food producers are adopting agroecology concepts and principles in their farming. This is the type of farming that helps to conserve and sustainably use the biodiversity and ecosystems. According to the Food and Agriculture Organization, FAO, agroecology works with local communities, food producers, and other actors to prevent land degradation and restore degraded areas. Well, Churches in Action for Development CARD is teaching agroecology concepts to farmers along Lake Chilwa as a way to restore the degraded basin, which is the source of livelihood for millions of people. Smart Likaya is coordinator for Palombe, one of the 3 districts CARD is working in. He says in the face of climate change, agroecology becomes essential in boosting food production.
With agroecology, we really aim at combating the effects of climate change. Due to environmental degradation, cutting down of trees and the like, the environment has really changed. That's why we're talking about climate change and greenhouse gases. So with agroecology, we aim to ensure that the farmer is not affected much in their daily living with the practices such as the integration of crops with the trees to ensure that there is shade for the trees for the crops to grow properly so that the moisture is conserved, use of organic manure to conserve the soil and also moisture, mulching and the like. So it is very important that we encourage farmers to use agroecology in their daily farming practices, because at the end of the day we are rejuvenating the soil and also ensuring that we are harvesting while there is still climate change in the face of it.
Can agroecology help to sustain food security at the household level?
Agroecology can and has got the potential to sustain farmers' livelihood at the household level, because we don't just look at production of crops alone. We are also looking at production of animals at the home. We are also looking at production of fruits at the home. In our parents' days, you would recall that they used to call them families of Pakomo Pamulira Kungwa. It's basically what used to happen. They could have, fruit trees at the home. They could have animals, livestock, and the like. But all that now has been replaced with commercial and conventional farming, where we get rid of every tree, we get rid of everything. We just plant one type of crop. When that crop doesn't do well, the farmer suffers the most. But with agroecology, we encourage synergy of crops, where you plant bananas in the same field, you plant maize in the same field, you plant sweet potatoes, you plant cassava, you plant fruit trees, you plant agroforestry trees. At the end of the day, if the maize doesn't do well, the farmer will still go to the field and pluck their bananas. They still do well at the home. If you are using inorganic fertilizers, you know that there is that integration at the home, whereby you're collecting animal dung and incorporating into your field. So there is that integration, and it is one of the main aspects of ensuring that there is that resilience at the household level.
Now, in development news, the people of Chilengo and surrounding villages in the area of Senior Chief Mpuka in the Cholo escarpment are looking forward to the opening of the new Chilengo health post, which is under construction in the area. The area has been served by an outreach health facility, meaning people have had to go to the district hospital at Choloboma, dozens of kilometers away, to access health and medical care. Well, we visited the area to hear people's stories and gauge their expectations.
This is Chilengo, one of the villages deep in the Cholo escarpment, which is hard to reach. You have to travel through a bumpy earth roadway to reach this area. And for the pregnant woman here, the journey to delivery is bumpy, sometimes very, very bumpy. This area is served by an outreach health post, which meets once in a month. It sees more than 200 children and over 100 pregnant women, providing them with maternal and child health care services.
Pano pachipata pa health post ya Chilengo kwambiri ndimaona ana osakwana zaka 5.
At this health post, we see a lot of under 5 children. Most of these cases are that of malaria. Of the 10 children we test for malaria, 9 are found with the disease. So yes, indeed, malaria is a major burden, especially for children here.
Choncho kunoko vuto lalikulu ndi malungo.
The distance to the hospital is the major concern here. This area is far away from an established hospital. The closest health facility is Mianga, over 10 kilometers away. And like many areas in mountainous terrains, Chilengo is cut off from public transport. The available mode of transport is a motorbike, which costs between 4,000 and 5,000 kwacha to get to Mianga, meaning people who cannot afford the fare have to walk to Mianga or all the way to the district hospital at Choloboma, some 20 kilometers away. Such is the sad story of people in this area, so says Senior Chief Mpuka.
This area is hilly, and the road from here to Chuloboma is very bad. It is not tarmacked, so in the rainy season, you can imagine, it gets very bad. So bad that it is almost impossible to get to the hospital. We carry patients on man-made stretchers all the way to Nyanga, where we hire vehicles all the way to the district hospital. Those that are critically ill get there by the grace of God. It is worse for pregnant women. The distance complicates the situation so much that many end up dying or delivering on the way. The district hospital is just too far.
For most of them, the journeys to the hospital are physically and mentally draining. Stories are told of mostly children and pregnant women dying on the way to the hospital. This woman recalls the shame she endured after she delivered her third child on the way to the district hospital in Cholo.
Kuchipatalako ndikutali oti mwina fufupi pali mtunda wa utali ndeti nali maganizo ambiri kulingalira kuti kodi ine mmene ndilimu ndikafika kuchipatala.
The hospital is very, very far. Thinking about getting there gets you terribly worried. Am I going to make it to the hospital or not? We get so concerned when such moments arise. Unfortunately, we have no choice but enjoy the rough terrain, and sometimes we deliver on our way, which is what happened to me. I delivered my third child on the way.
Her story is too familiar in this escarpment, and so too is the story of children suffering from or dying of malaria, which is prevalent in this area.
Many children here suffer from malaria. For those young enough, we carry them on our back to the hospital. But for grown-up children, we hire a motorcycle to take us there, costing us almost 8,000 kwacha, which many of us cannot afford. In that case, we resort to stretchers. But nowadays, people are so reluctant to help carry a patient on a stretcher. They say it's old-fashioned, and you are forced, therefore, to raise the money, which is not easy to.
To cut the distance, communities walk to the hospital. Cholo District Council, through the World Bank funded governance to enable service delivery, JESID, is constructing a full-fledged health post.
Chilengo Health Center, as you have seen it, is very far, maybe about 60 kilometers away from Choloboma. And there hasn't been any facility whereby expectant mothers or maybe under 5 children would go and get the medication which they are required from their infant stages. So the coming of this health facility is going to help minimize death in terms of expectant mothers, in terms of the under 5 children which were dying like in their large numbers because of no facility. Most of the people would rely on going to Choloboma, which is 65, 66 kilometers away from Chilengo. And it's very far. Like a motorcycle is going to cost 8,000. How do you expect a person from the village to raise 8,000 to go to a health facility? So it's going to minimize this, and it's going to help them get the medication nearby, thereby improving their health, which is actually stipulated in the 2063 agenda. So it's very important that this health facility is being constructed. And it's also nearing Chikwawa. It's the boundary of the Chikwawa, so which means the people from Chikwawa will also be benefiting from Chilengo Health Center. So we are trying to help 2 districts at once, which is very, very important for our development in Malawi.
So you can imagine the people's excitement now that this health post is taking shape.
Kunoko tithokoze kwambiri kuti boma laganiza kutimangira chipatala ichi.
We are grateful that government has decided to construct this health post in this area. People used to walk a long distance to health facilities up there to Miyanga, which belongs to the tea estate or to the Boma. Some were discouraged by the distance and ended up not going to seek help at the hospital at all. But with the construction of this health post, challenges that people faced due to long distance will be over. This post will particularly save expectant women who sometimes give birth at home. It means now they will be able to deliver at this health post close to them. At the same time, more children will be able to access medical care.
Zitithandiza kuna kuti chipatala chikakhala panopa ndikuti ana azimayi azichirira ku chipatala komanso ana azithandizidwa moyenerera.
Upon completion of the health post project, the district council has planned to build a full maternity wing at the facility to provide childbirth services to the women in this area. This facility will also offer nutrition supplements to malnourished children and drugs to suppress the HIV virus in people living with it, bringing such services closer to their homes, thereby addressing such issues as absconding of drugs. It will also help to decongest Cholo District Hospital, which sees a monthly average of more than 270,000 patients.
And well, on that note, we end this edition of Beyond the Headlines. As always, we will be so glad to hear from you on any of the stories we carry. Feel free to give us your comments on the number scrolling below or on MBC Facebook page. I'm Jane Gogodas. Thanks for watching. See you again next week. Bye for now.